Hello, I'm really pleased to be joined by Sophia Jansson, who is Tove Jansson's niece and chairwoman of the Moomins. So I assume in charge of the majority of Finland's GDP. Thank you so much for joining me, Sophia. I wonder if I could start by asking you about the island of Klovharun. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, we would say Klovharun.
Oh, okay. I won't attempt that. I wonder if you could tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, there are quite a number of archipelagos around the coasts of Finland, and this particular one where Tove and Toti lived, is to the east of Helsinki, sort of roughly south of a city called Porvoo. They are, of course, several islands constituting that archipelago. And the island that Tove and Toti lived on is part of the Pelinki archipelago.
And I know that they lived and worked for several summers on a different island that was slightly nearer the coast before this. And people kept visiting them. And eventually it became slightly, I suppose, too familiar with their friends, and so they felt the need to move slightly further out to get a bit of peace and quiet.
In broad terms, that was the reason. They felt they needed to be even further away on a desert island to be left in peace to pursue their work as they wished. So they got more and more like hermits, her and Toti, and decided to pursue a dream of an island of their own.
And recently published and wonderfully published by Sort of Books, we have this, which is I suppose a recollection, but also a sort of wonderful collaboration, as they did so much, of the process, I suppose, of moving and establishing themselves on this furthest island and building the cabin, which I've been fortunate enough to visit, and it's just the most amazing. It's just the most amazing, I suppose, outpost of human creativity in this quite sort of sparse, quite wild setting. Can you remember your first sort of time? You must have been very small when you visited them out there.
Well, I would say that I really don't have a clear memory of any first visit, because I've been there since I was born. Literally, half-year-old, I was carted out in some kind of cot. I think my fondest memories of Tove and Toti, of course, are from life on the islands, because it's summertime, you spend a lot of time together, you're in and out of boats and going on picnics and essentially living like the Moomin family very much. And of course, those memories are, basically what I live on, in times of darkness like now. It's hard to actually pinpoint how I feel about the islands, because there's so much of who I feel I am. And I think that was definitely the case for Tove. One of the biggest joys in her life was that Toti shared this love of the archipelago and was sort of on board from the word go about living there with no electricity, no running water, no amenities of any kind, and having to sort of live a slightly, Robinson Crusoe type of life.
The name of the island, Klovharun, it comes from the word to cleave, which means both to join together and to come apart. And Tove and Toti went there because they wished to be apart, but I think the island and the stories of the island are bringing a lot of people together and raising awareness one way or the other about the responsibilities that we have to nature, which is all the way through all of Tove's writings, through the Moomin books. There is a huge ecological and environmental streak, and not just about the natural world, but also the way that people and Moomin trolls deal with each other and uninvited guests and that sort of thing.
Absolutely. It's quite striking how current her thinking about nature is still today. I'm sure she'd be tremendously upset if if she were still alive and understood where we're heading, unless we can do something about it. Yeah.
Sophia, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for talking about the island.
Thank you for having me.